Okay, so here is my guide video for lesson 911. 911 is all getting into this idea of three-dimensional solids. The big things here we're going to be talking about with three-dimensional solids as we get started with them is just viewing them from different angles or different sides, and this idea of map plans. And we'll also kind of introduce the idea of volume as a measurement here, but we'll get more into that in future lessons. This is more just an introduction to it. Couple things before I get going. This lesson's a lot about visualization, and so make sure that you're following along or using your ebook today so you can click on the links that I'll be clicking on. I'm going to be flipping back and forth between my presentation and the ebook, just clicking on links. So make sure you're doing that as well. And other than that, we'll get right into it. This lesson is one that I think you can do on your own, so make sure you're trying these problems on your own and then using this video for help if you need it. It's 9-1 through 9-1 or 9-5, so it kind of seems long, but I'm going to try to go through these videos somewhat quickly. Alright, so let's get started with the first one here. 911, and it's got a long introduction here, but really it's just talking about how we encounter these solids, these three-dimensional solids, like everywhere in life, and then we're going to start kind of evaluating how we can look at these in terms of, what do they look like and what is their volume. So 9.1 is saying, using these blocks provided by the teacher, I'm going to be using the e-tool for online purposes. And then assume blocks cannot hover in midair, and so that if you see blocks on like a second level, there must be a block below it. So I'm going to flip to the ebook quick at 9.1, and it gives me this e-tool here, 3D blocks, to build the shape to the right. So I click on this. I'm going to flip back and forth here. I have this shape here, and I'm going to just try to build it. So I got 2, and then 1, and then 1. And then it goes 3, 2, 1. You got to kind of see that 3 here, then 2, then 1, and then the last one, it looks like there's 2 and then 1 and then 0 on the way back there. And so it goes 2, 1, 0. And if I look at it from the front, that's what it looks like. From the right, that's what it looks like. The top, that's what it looks like. And then that isometric view like you would see in the ebook, that's what it looks like. And that looks like the shape that I got right here. All right. And so that's kind of how I built it on the e-tool. If it's really just about clicking on these blocks, it adds them. If you want to take them away, you got to click the side of them. And you can build this shape that we have here. Okay, so we'll start talking about that first part A. It says, is there more than one arrangement of these blocks? What would it look like if you drew it? And it's kind of a weird question. And so the answer to this one here is that it's yes. There is multiple ways that you could draw it. There could be solids hidden, and that's something that they don't talk about, and that's something they have to explain, or I'll have to explain in directions if it doesn't say so. There could be solids hidden here behind, like back behind here, kind of behind those ones. We don't know if there's like a fourth row back there, and so we have to say, yeah, there's a possibility that this could be drawn differently because we just don't know. All right, and then we'll go into part B already, and it says to avoid confusion, they use a map plan. This is a map plan right here. All right, it's just a different way to kind of talk about how these blocks are arranged, like it shows here. This is the front view of it. There are 2 blocks here, 1 block here, 1 block here, and that's what it's saying right here. 2 blocks in the front, then 1, and then 1. And then we go to the second row right next to it, and there's 3 blocks, 2 blocks, 1 block right there. And in the way back row, there's those 2, the 1, and the 0. So this is just a written, like that's 3 blocks, that's 2 blocks, that's 1 block. It's just a different way to represent this. And so it cuts out the idea that there might be hidden blocks. That's the idea behind that. And if I want to verify, like it says in part B, verify that your solid matches the solid represented in the map plan, I can go to mine in the ebook and see that. All right, if I go onto it, the map plan said 2. If I close this down quick, it said 2 and then 1 and then 1 in the front. And if I go to my build, it's 2 and then 1 and then 1. That's right. And then it says 3 and then 2 and then 1. And if I go to the ebook version, there's 3 blocks there, 2 and then 1. And so this, and then in the back there is the 2 and the 1. And so this looks like it's all done right, and I verified that it is correct. And then it says for part C, what is the volume of the solid? That is, if each block represents a cubic unit. So each block is 1 cubic unit. How many cubic units make up the solid? Well, I'll just add up all the blocks I had, and you could either do that using the picture or using the e-tool, or just using this map plan. I can just kind of go around and count all the blocks I had here and say that I have 2 plus 1 plus 0 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. And if I add up all my number of blocks, I'll have my volume of this solid. And my volume of this solid, 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 0 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 plus 1 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. And so this has a volume of 13 cubic units. And that's because we are saying that each block is 1 cubic unit. Okay, so just big things in this problem here is that we have this idea we can build these solids using these e-tools, but this map plan here cuts out the idea that there could possibly be hidden ones. And this map plan again is just saying, like, in the back left corner there's 2 blocks, next to that there's 1 block, next to that there's none, and then it kind of just works these different views, but we can see exactly how many blocks there are. Okay, and so we'll get into kind of practicing how this works, looking at the different kind of views here. 9-2 we're going to look further into like the top view, the side views. So like we're going to look at what these three-dimensional shapes, these blocks look like from the front, from the right, and from the top. And then we are going to draw those visualizations of it. And to help us visualize this, I'm going to build it on the e-tool, because the e-tool is nice. We can actually click the front, the right, and the top button to actually draw it out. And so to visualize it, I'm going to move over to there, and it's saying here, examine this diagram on the right. So we're going to build this one on the right, and then we're going to look at it from the 3 different views, the front, the right, and the top. Okay, so I'm going to go here, and again, I'm building this shape, and I'm going to have to flip back and forth. In the front, it's got 2, and then 1, and then 2 behind it. And so if I build that 2, and then 1, and then 2 behind that one, and then it goes, there's nothing, nothing, and then 3. So nothing, nothing, and then 3. And then finally, just the 1. So nothing, nothing, and then 1 all the way on the right there. So nothing, nothing, and then 1. And now over here, it does show front, top, and right, and that's what I'm going to be drawing. So if I click on the front, that's what it looks like from the front view. And so I go to my grid paper here, and I'm going to draw that front view. I'm going to try to draw it the best I can on here, and the way that it looked on the front, it had 2 and then 3 and then 1. So 2 and then 3 and then 1. And that was what it looked like from the front. The 2, the 3, and then the 1. And a better visualization than my scribbly drawing is this right here, 2 and then 3 and then 1. All right. From the right, this is what it looks like. It goes 2 and then 1 and then 3. And so if I redraw that one, it goes 2 and then 1 and then 3. From the right view. And what we're trying to visualize here is, again, you can kind of maybe do it in your head without using the e-tool. You always just see the tallest blocks from the view you're looking at. So you always just see whatever, the highest stack is. So that's like why when we look at the front, we see 2, because that's the highest it gets. If we're looking from the right, I should say, the furthest right, you see the 3 blocks because that's the tallest one. You see 1 block in the middle here because that's the short, that's the tallest. And you see 2 blocks here because that's the tallest. You always see the tallest amount of blocks. when you're doing these map plans. And it's something that some people are better at visualizing than others. I've gotten better at it, but it's still hard. I still like using these e-tools. So then let's finish this one up with the top view. And on the top view, it just looks like almost like this L shape here with these 4 blocks missing. And so if I draw that one out, I just have, it goes from here, 1, 2, 3, and then kind of 3 across here. And so I get this shape here, and that's my top view. Okay. Again, these aren't terrible, but it's more just being able to visualize it. Here is kind of the way that they have it. I put this in here. These are the 3 different views you could see. And I try to draw those, but it's kind of hard with my Smart Notebook file, so that's why I like using that e-tool. All right. Again, in these first 2 problems, we've just seen quite a few things here. We've seen it be built with the blocks. We have seen map plans now, and a little bit of an intro with volume. And then in this problem here, we get to see these different views from the top, from the right, and from the front. How we can draw that on grid paper, and how we can build it on that e-tool on the ebook. Again, make sure we're using that ebook the best we can. Okay, we'll move into 9.3. For each map plan below, we want to build them, and then we want to find the volume of them, and then we want to draw them. I'm going to do the first 2 bullet points, and then under these green boxes are the drawings, and I'm going to show you those for the sake of time. So I'm going to be flipping to the ebook here to build these, and I'll start with A here. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to take these down. And so we'll start in the front. It goes 0, 2, and then 0. And so 0, 2, and then 0. And you can kind of move this around too. You can move this around so you can see every block. In the front it went 0, 2, 0. And then I go in the next one, 2, 3, 1 across. So 2, and then 3, and then 1. Not the best view. 2, and then 3, and then 1. And then in the way back here, we go, we go 0, 3, and then 0. And so 0, and then 3, and then 0 over here. And so if I look at it, this is what my shape looks like after I've built it. The volume of that is like what we did in 9-1. We just have to add up all our squares, assuming that each one has, and so I'm going to do that down here for my volumes, and this is going to be in part A. We just have to add up all of our blocks, and so we have 3 plus 3, and I'll just do it down here, 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 and then plus 2. So in part A, my volume is 6 plus 2 is 8, 8 plus 1 is 9, 9 plus 2 is a volume of 11 for part A. Okay? Once you have them built on that e-tool, you can click the front, the right, and the top view to see it. And what that front and right and top view look like is this right here. In the front, if you're looking at it from the front view, the tallest block is 2 on the left. If you're looking at it in that front view, the tallest block is 3. And in that front view, the tallest block is 1 all the way on the right. In that right view, the tallest is 3. Middle, the tallest is 3. And then on the left, the tallest is 2 from the right view. And then on the top, we get this kind of plus sign shape because we have blocks in that plus sign shape right here. Okay, we'll go to B, and I think I'll continue it in the second video.